Alright, in this video I am going to be attempting to repair this circuit board, namely the speed controller for this Fiziang Deluxe scooter. I'll put a full description. A couple of months ago, I put in another speed controller, just bought off eBay, but I knew at the time it wasn't the correct one. Oh well, it was too late. It just showed a picture like that of the housing, but it didn't show the circuit board. But I found out it was too late, that it wasn't the right one. But this time, this is the original circuit board, right? This time I've decided to try, and the other circuit board did not work for very long. It kind of worked for a while, and it was the movements were a bit jittery, and afterwards it just kind of paused working. So the name of the scooter I'm going to give in the description, Fiziang Deluxe Shop Rider, if I remember rightly. Yeah, that's right. However, the circuit board that comes with it is the deluxe version, remember, so it's got all the bells and whistles on it. That's the circuit board controller details right there. Alright, so you need to match it. If you've got the same one, you have to match it whatever one you've got. Now, circuit board's got a heat sink at the back. That's evident. There's my heat sink. Things are, well, you would say it doesn't. There's nothing physically, like, obviously it's burnt out. However, when I try this circuit board, the original one, I can hear a click. Okay, nothing happens. There's no movement. Now the click is coming from this relay here. Now the only thing I can think of on the circuit board that moves to any extent is the relay. And for things to go wrong, especially if there's there's a low voltage controlling a high voltage or a high current, it's going to be a relay. So I took a lot of effort to locate this particular relay. I had to buy it from all the way from China on their is it Alibaba? Yeah, on their well, what is it called? Alibaba. Right, you know the one I mean. I can't remember the name of the website. It's a common one. AliExpress. Yeah, it was called. I think it was AliExpress. But I'll leave a link in the description for this particular. I searched for hours to get this particular relay, and I've not even taken it out of the package yet properly. It comes from China, so it took not that long actually, only about 10 or 12 days to arrive, so much shorter than I thought. Well packaged. Alright, it's in there. It's quite a large bulky thing, hopefully. Oh whoa, it's, I can't really see it very well. Once you get light, let me have a look. Hang on. Let me see if I can do this video without any cuts in it. That makes my editing a lot easier. Oh, I can't see that. But it's an 80 amp. I could just about read that. 14 volt DC, and I think the circuit board pattern matches. Yeah, it looks about the same. I'm just looking at that one and comparing. TTI. We've got the same TTI thing going on there. Yep. As far as I can tell, this is it. Now, notice there's like 4 different terminals. Right, so next thing, get a reasonably correct screwdriver, whatever it is. There's my end. So what I'm going to do is 1, 2, 3, 4, one missing one. Oh, let me do that. See if I can do this one take. Sorry if the video lasts a bit longer. Just means less editing for me, and you can see it in real time for you. Speed past it if you want, speed it up if you want, no problem. So the tools you'll need is a reasonably good soldering iron, solder, also one particular tool that I found out was very useful when I used to work in a computer firm called Olivetti, and we used to, I never got to the circuit board part, but we did used to use the soldering irons a lot. And one particular tool I mentioned came in handy. This tool I'm showing you now was bought many years ago. It barely still works. It's kind of hanging on to. It's not great, but it still works. Now, I've got to remember the faded one is the new one. Take that off. So you expose. You just make sure that the label's copying the label on there. If I do that, so you've got three prongs, and then one prong. That matches, right? So the thing is, that extra tool that I still haven't mentioned is a SolderSucker. Is this thing here? I don't know. I'll try and find it on the internet. I guess they do exist. I can't even put tape around it at some point. What I found is I have to keep unscrewing this because it's kind of old. You push on it and it's not working because it's old. Right. If I push it now, it should work. There you go. Right. That little pin. The little pin pushes the solder out. Because what I'm going to do is suck out, that little button, and suck out the solder. It's so old, it's just not even working anymore. I still got it. It's still there. That goes in there. It goes in there. And the pin, hopefully, I'm going to line up. See, you shouldn't have to do this on the new one. The new one you just push the button and it goes, right? Right, okay. What happens now? Well, a new one you just push down, and then when your solder, your target solder is heated up and is liquefied, you push the button, and it this bounces up and it sucks. The SolderSucker sucks up all the old solder, right? Because there's no way you can just solder it, yank it, and hopefully, because whatever you do, it's gonna, cool off on the other end. So I don't know why I'm holding it so soon. Oh no! Okay. I just accidentally pressed it. I thought. Right. So, and the pin's falling out. Okay. It's hanging by a thread. Maybe the link I'll give you. I'll buy myself a new one if it's a reasonably good one. But this is an original one from. Well, I'll hopefully go back to the early 90s. This one. So, job is a very big piece of relay. It'll take a while to heat up. I'm going to make sure my soldering iron is on full blast, I think. And it's been going for a while. As soon as it liquefies, and this there was one for sale off a second-hand one. I don't mean soldering iron, I mean the speed controller. Second-hand one for this mobility scooter. There was one on sale, but it was like 120. I thought, no, I think I'm going to try fixing it before I go to that kind of extent. And this piece of relay was only about £3-4. So I've got to remember which direction it is. Yep. Oh, it's taking a while. Should be hot enough. Okay, I might have to do it in parts. Let me pause and I'll come back. Okay, I've had to buy another soldering iron. This one's from Draper, tool station, about £13. Reason is, buying a new tip for my other soldering iron was about £8 or £9. There wasn't much difference, and it wasn't heating up very well. So I used this one comes with a flat blade as well as a pointy blade. Totally different design to the one I've been using though. The one I've been using is much more professional. Right, so look at the difference. It melted solder immediately, especially with this flat tip. So I have to turn it upwards. Okay, so liquefy it and use the solder pump. Don't want to keep it on too long because it could damage the surroundings. So I just need to keep repeating that. Melt, suck, melt, suck, melt, suck. And you know I've got a busted one of these. So I'm going to go around all, that one, that terminal, that terminal, that terminal, and that terminal. And anyway, I'll show you, once I've done one complete one, I'll show you what I'm now, even with a new soldering iron, fix my SolderSucker, just can't get this thing off, right? It's not a perfect SolderSucker, otherwise there'll be there'll be holes in instead. But because as soon as you try and wedge it, the other bit's still stuck. So it might be better under the red light actually. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hacksaw it. I think I might be able to squeeze in the hacksaw. Hacksaw it off. Well, I can squeeze in hacksaw. Alright, so I'm going to do that. What a difficult job. Normally these things can, if it was just a two-prong thing, it would be much easier. Right, so very difficult job. Took me a lot longer than I thought. With the sawing, eventually I got a hacksaw, a normal hacksaw, and I just basically sawed it along here. And if you see that little kind of variable resistor there, I end up chopping the plastic off that before I realised what was going on. And also the capacitor there, I chopped off the bottom of that as well, so it was not a lot of room. So in the end I got the old circuit board, just took the capacitor off there. This I deemed as not as damaged as, because I can still see 3 legs. If it really is damaged, I can always take it off that one, but the soldering on that is quite minute, so I thought I'd better leave that. But okay, if I get any problems I will change that. But anyway, not perfectly done. I think I have contacts on all four prongs, although it's possible that I didn't do a super job. Very difficult. You would do this in the factory and it would just stamp on you. My SolderSucker was not working, so I'll put a link in the description for a new SolderSucker. Anyway, really, if it's working properly, and I did try and fix it, you push, as soon as you make the solder molten, you press the button and it just sucks away, and you're left with a little hole basically, and that's what I really needed. With a little hole, this would just insert straight in, but with solder that's half off, I had to kind of insert it, heat the other side, push, heat the other side, push kind of thing, and it was just not really a great job, but I do believe it's enough of a job. Anyway, let's test it out. I'll have to install it, but not today. I'll install it and see if it works. Right, I normally keep my errors in my videos, and this is no exception. I made a big error. The error I made was basically due to my nature of being impatient. So what I did, my last scene, remember I went to cut using the hacksaw, ended up cutting this fella here, so I had to replace this fella from the old board. Also I chopped that. I don't think that's completely broken, but I may have to replace that with the one on the old board. That's a variable resistor. And also, do you see how that's kind of skewed like that? Not perfect. I don't even know if the contact is touching, but what I do know is when I tried it, when I installed it back in, it did not work. So what I should have done is what I should have done straight away, knowing that my SolderSucker was not working. I should have replaced the SolderSucker and waited for it in the post. I was just impatient. Right, it comes back to me being impatient. So that's my error that I'm going to leave in the video. So don't do what I do. Do what I try and advise. So I may have ruined this board. This is about £100 plus board if I was to buy it for second hand. So my only hope is that a couple of these terminals are not pushing in, not turning. There's no, when I go plug it in, switch it on, there's no click, there's no nothing on the relay, right? So I will introduce this. This is made in Japan, so unusual. It's £20 from eBay, high powered absorption. It's got like a flexible tip that is hopefully above the temperature, melts above the temperature of the soldering iron. One hand operation. So yeah, I like anything made in Japan. So it's engineer SolderSucker. I never tried it before, I haven't even taken it out of the package. Definitely look like it's made in Japan. In 2024, heat resistance 350 degrees the nozzle. It definitely looks like it's not made anywhere else but Japan. Alright, so we'll see how it works. So a SolderSucker is essential. What I should have done is just use a new one from SolderSucker had broken. Suck up all the solder and the thing with it just fell out. Then I would have installed the new relay in, replacing the old one, and just resoldered. That would have been it, without terrorising the board, which I did do. What a complete impatient buffoon I am, but never mind. Try and keep my errors in. It's got a spare one of these tubes, I'm not going to lose that. I'm going to keep this together as much as possible with tape. So I'm even going to keep that stapled in. So I'm not going to take it apart or anything. It's this. It's just a simple action. It's a big old sucking sound made in Japan. Engineer SolderSucker. That's been heating up for a short while. So see how this compares. This could be the end of the video today. It could be the end, because if I don't carry on, if you don't see me going, wow, it works. Here's the mobility scooter running wildly. If you don't see me doing that, it means it did not work. But at least you'll see a SolderSucker actually doing its job. I've got to heat that up a bit more. It's getting hot, but not enough. If you look at the picture there, look how whatever that tip is, the silicon tip, look how it's just kind of, you can actually prod it straight in. And I've just noticed, okay, we've got a few different tips, not just one, two different tips, and it's just a small section you cut off, so this should last quite a while. So I am going to make sure I do not lose these. Here it goes, and I will tape the whole thing up once I repack it. Just trying a small area. I'm outdoors, so that means this thing's going to cool down a bit quicker than it should do. Just trying to small area. I'm outdoors, so that means this thing's going to cool down a bit quicker than it should do. Just trying to small area. I'm outdoors, so that means this thing's going to cool down a bit quicker than it should do. try that. Putting a maximum amount of area onto it. Well, it's liquefying, just about. Not really hot enough at the moment. It is liquefying. Alright, let's try using this, see what the difference is. I'm going to prod that right in there. See, it kind of took away, oh, it's cooling quick, rapidly. Took away a big chunk. This is a big blob of solder that I soldered on. I'm not sure how to empty it, probably unscrew it. It's definitely working better than the other one. I shouldn't take it off. As soon as I take it off, it cools down. Is it super? Is it as good as ones I used back in the 80s? I don't think so, but so it surely is better than the one I've been using. And as I push it, the little bit of solder it sucked up came out. Soldering iron's just not hot enough. At least I coated the tip. I was trying to coat the tip, at least I've done that. Anyway. Right, so this is another day. So this is the board for not the mobility scooter that I had, the deluxe model. This is the £35 one, but I scavenged the variable resistor off that one by using the SolderSucker. The SolderSucker works excellently for very small sections of solder you need to take off. So heat it up. Within half a second it was hot enough, put that right over it like so, and then press the button, bang, and then there was a little hole appeared. So all three of them came out easy. For the speed controller's relay, that was a bit more difficult. It wasn't as easy as this. It was like a whole pillar of solder, so quite a lot to get out. Sometimes I would say the result of this SolderSucker, it's the best you can get really, was that sometimes after quite a few goes I would get suddenly like a huge clump of it come out, and then sometimes not. But then after I got enough of it out, I just put a screwdriver underneath and then heated it using a soldering iron and then pulled at it, so one leg at a time. So I always try and keep my errors in. What I did do is I went and put this in upside down in my hurry after I cleared it all, so I got quite frustrated. Didn't give up though. So what I did was I thought, well, I'll just make sure I do it again. Did it all again, took the solder off, turned it, put it the right way around, make sure I had that other variable resistor in. Remember I'd already changed took the capacitor off here and plugged it in. and lo and behold, it worked. So I've just got to fit the rest of the casings in, the heat casings into the mobility scooter, and it should be, fingers crossed, 100%. So with all that jiggling around, I spent at least an hour heating this thing up. So don't worry about heating it here and this thing getting red hot, really. It wasn't hot enough to melt the solder inside here to mess up the relay, but after all that it works, so fingers crossed. I'll show you in a little bit. So here is hopefully the last time I'm going to have to take this apart if I sell this scooter on eBay. That's the work. You see the gap under there is quite small. I managed to push in. This is the replaced variable resistor. I've unplugged it, of course. So reassemble, not difficult at all, and then take it for a run. And it hasn't been charged in a couple of weeks, I would say. So it's time to take it to half life on the battery and then recharge it for about 12 hours. But remember, the name of the video is there's something wrong on the circuit board. Look for the thing that is most likely to break, and if it's got a relay on it, very much target that first. So, and I'll leave a link in the description for the SolderSucker and the soldering iron I bought, which was about £12, and it's a Draper one, which isn't bad. It's not bad, it's not the best I've used, but those things don't tend to last very long. Anyway, thanks for watching. I'll just show me moving this thing and that'll be it. Right, so I'm going to run it until it's half battery. Bang into. Okay, I've got the car out. The motor feels strong, that's what I really want. Let's crack on the fishing rod. So, that, no hesitation, which is good, because last time when I first fixed it, there was hesitation. It would just move a little bit and then stop a little bit. And it wouldn't go up this hill as well, by the way. Okay. So, yep, it climbs the hill. I'm going to sit on top of it, of course, in a second. See if it climbs the hill. Automatic brakes on. I just need a lock. Anyway, thanks for watching. I'm going to run this from 6 PM. See how long it lasts until it's half battery. I'm positive. New SLK batteries, not brand new now because it's a couple of months old, but new batteries. Not really used it, but I will charge it 12 hours. And the thing is with these batteries, if I use it, got to charge it, fully charge it for 12 hours. That's how you keep the life of the battery. And in the winter with these sort of batteries, SLK batteries, just keep them charged. They're designed for that, so keep them on 8 hours in every day, although it may not be using that. As soon as you use it, 8 hours, even if it's a short ride. Alright, thanks for watching. So I took the scooter out for about 30 minutes and it's still at full charge, so I'll class that as a success. Thanks for watching.